Okay, let's dive straight into this epic explainer. For decades, we've followed the battles, the insane transformations, and the sprawling lore of the Dragon Ball universe. But some recent revelations have completely shattered our understanding of the timeline. Today, we are going to unpack the dark, sweeping, 75 million year history of the multiverse that has been meticulously hidden from us until right now.
I want you to just stop and ask yourself this. What if the foundational myths of the cosmos, the stories of the Kais, the origins of Majin Buu, even the very creation of the universe itself, what if all of it was built on a lie? Because the truth we're uncovering is far darker, way more complex, and deeply rooted in a realm we are literally only just beginning to understand.
So to wrap our heads around this massive paradigm shift, we're going to follow this timeline. We'll be hitting year 0, 75 million years before age, 5 million years before age, 3,000 years before age, and finally, 238 years before age. Let's kick things off at the absolute beginning.
Here's the crucial takeaway right off the bat. Existence didn't just spontaneously happen. According to this newly revealed history, way back in year 0, the good Supreme Demon King actually sought to expand his domain. He didn't just passively watch the universe come into being, he explicitly ordered its creation. The entire multiverse as we know it was essentially mandated by the ruler of the demon realm.
And to pull off a monumental task like that, the Supreme Demon King brought in a being whose very existence changes absolutely everything we thought we knew. Enter Super Majin Rhymus. Rhymus is the incredibly powerful entity who actually forged the universes. According to Shin, Rhymus is still considered the highest authority out there. So not Grand Zeno, but a Super Majin from the demon realm was the one who physically crafted the cosmos.
Well, once Rhymus created these universes, they obviously needed monitors, right? So he handpicked a select race directly from the demon realm known as the Glints. And why does this matter to us? Because Shin, our Supreme Kai of Universe 7, is a Glint. The ultimate gods of creation actually originated in the demon realm. It's totally wild to think about. Moving down our timeline to 75 million years before age, we see this divine order set the stage for our first major cosmic tragedy. Just take a second to truly comprehend that number. 75 million years. To put that into perspective, that is the exact, unfathomable amount of time the 15th generation Supreme Kai, the old Kai, spent trapped in absolute darkness inside the legendary Z-Sword on the sacred world of the Kais.
And the dark comedy of all this is just unbelievable. You'd think old Kai must have committed some unforgivable cosmic sin to earn 75 million years of solitary confinement, right? Nope. The truth is, he was sealed away by the incredibly short-tempered god of destruction, Lord Beerus, over a completely forgotten petty disagreement. A trifling argument during a meeting resulted in an eternity of imprisonment. And it only ended when Gohan accidentally snapped that super heavy Z-Sword while testing it against dense Kachin metal.
All right. Fast forwarding to 5 million years before age, the stakes escalate dramatically from petty divine tantrums to some seriously horrific dark magic.
So for years, the history books have told us that the evil wizard Babidi just forged the ultimate monster Majin Buu out of thin air. Well, history lied to us. The absolute truth is, Babidi was completely incapable of creating such a terrifying force. He actually had to commission a dark witch named Marba to create Majin Buu. Babidi merely unleashed what Marba had already forged.
And the aftermath of Marba's creation? Absolutely catastrophic. Majin Buu went on a rampage that destroyed thousands of planets. But the worst part is, he actively hunted the Glints, the Supreme Kais. He killed the North and West Supreme Kai, and then he absorbed the massive South Supreme Kai and the benevolent Grand Supreme Kai. This monster, born of demon realm magic, nearly wiped out the very beings Rhymus appointed to protect the universe in the first place.
Next up on the timeline, we're jumping ahead to 3,000 years before age, where the story shifts from divine destruction to a desperate survival thriller involving a race we all know very well. This one is a real shocker. We uncover the grim reality that the Namekians did not originate in the peaceful outside universe. Their old homeworld was actually located in the second demon world. They lived deep within the demon realm, under absolute, brutal subjugation by the Supreme Demon King.
Shin gave us this really chilling account of their existence, stating they were, quote, treated as little more than slaves. And why does this matter so much? Because Namekians possess immense, totally unique magical abilities, most notably the power to forge Dragon Balls. The Demon Realm rulers exploited this magic, keeping the Namekians in chains just for their incredible utility.
But, they refused to stay slaves forever. In this amazing display of resilience, the Namekians rebelled against the Demon King. They staged a massive, heroic exodus, fleeing the Demon Realm entirely and venturing into the outside world just to find peace. Interestingly enough, during this massive escape, only one notable Namekian actually remained behind in the Demon Realm, and that was the Elder Neva.
And that brings us to our last stop on the timeline, 238 years before Age, bringing us straight into the mortal realm for the climax of our deep dive.
Right here, we're setting the stage for a tragic last stand. It's a brutal conflict that ended in death, but it birthed a myth that spanned an entire millennium. We're talking about the tragedy of the very first Super Saiyan.
Let's get clear on exactly who this was. Yamoshi was an ancient Saiyan with a genuinely righteous heart, which was a massive contrast to the brutal nature of his race. Long before planet Vegeta was even their home, Yamoshi and 5 of his comrades launched this desperate rebellion against the evil Saiyans. Cornered, pushed to the absolute brink, Yamoshi achieved a form completely unseen in history. He became the first Super Saiyan.
Let's walk through the tragedy of it all. So he transforms to fight his evil kin, absolutely terrifying them with this unprecedented power. But despite his godlike strength, there were just too many of them. He was eventually overwhelmed and died as his energy completely depleted. But here's the thing. His physical death was only the beginning. Refusing to rest, Yamoshi's spirit wandered the cosmos, desperately seeking out 6 pure-hearted Saiyans to initiate the ceremony that would eventually birth the Super Saiyan God.
And here is how all these pieces of incredible lore tie together just perfectly. I mean, how did anyone even know about Yamoshi's spirit quest? Well, it turns out a sympathetic Namekian elder, a member of that exact same race that fled the Demon Realm, felt Yamoshi's spirit, and he actually recorded his incredible journey right there in the Namekian Book of Legends. It perfectly bridges the histories of these 2 incredible races, and it brings our entire 75 million year timeline full circle.
Which leaves us with this final, absolutely thrilling thought. We've just uncovered Super Majin Rhymus, the hidden truth about the Glints, Marba's dark magic, the Namekian Exodus, and the heroic tragedy of Yamoshi. But with 75 million years of cosmic history fundamentally rewritten, you really have to ask yourself, what other dark, universe-altering secrets are still hiding out there in the Demon Realm? I'm going to leave you to ponder that one. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, keep your eyes open. The lore is always expanding.